it works out. So for those I haven't met yet, my name's Sean Connors. I am new with National Rush as of January. So I started working with Pablo then. However, I have been with Washington Rush for about 9 years now. I'm the director of goalkeeping there. So along with that, I run our ODP program in the state for the goalkeepers. And I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the work that Pablo and his team have been doing. And excited about bringing some goalkeeper to that whole platform, whether it's the developmental website, the coaches, the coaches plan book that we've been working on, all that stuff as we continue to add layers and continue to build and grow this group of goalkeepers together as we work toward, making the best rush goalkeeper possible. Today, I'm going to start with additional expectations of the goalkeeper. And I'll talk a little bit why we're going to do that, but the chance to get everybody on the same page. We're going to use a little small group so everyone can have a chance to talk, and we'll kind of build it that way. As you're going, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to use the chat or, jump in. We're pretty open. I want to get on the same page as soon as we can here. Okay.
John, do you mind me just adding one sentence there?
Please.
This is something that we've been talking about not only within the team but to some of the clubs. We're really happy about the development of this department, and in 2020, despite the difficulties and the challenges, we are really happy with the outcome. Like, we think that we built the structure to channel education and to channel a lot of programs. This year we're even more ambitious about it, and that's what we're so happy that Sean actually joined the team, because we are going on the big enterprise of trying to create to create uniform coaching standards, to create a methodology that we can all, as Rush, proudly say that we share. And that includes not only goalkeeping but the development overall. So that's the huge challenge that we have right now. We want to have a methodology. We want to have a way of doing things in terms of player evaluation, in terms of individual development plans. And this meeting is a huge kickoff and a starting point for the goalkeeping part. So that's why we were extremely happy that Sean has joined us, because he has the expertise to do it. So it's exciting times. Now it's you, Sean.
Thanks, Pablo. And the last thing, and I did forget it, as we're going today, please feel free to fill the chat with ways and what you need for us to help you. And that's me, Pablo, the entire team. We want to help facilitate, you, your coaches, your players, your club. And as this thing gets going, as I continue to build relationships with you guys, that might come a little bit easier. But feel free, drop a note in the chat, send me an email. We want to be there working with everybody, not just jamming stuff down your throat. I think we've all been on that side of it at some point, but this really, for me, I want it to be as collective as possible. So first thing, and this is kind of the big picture and the part that I've been tasked with from Pablo and Tim, is to connect and engage with all the staff, okay? The players, and obviously the staff has that direct link to the players. Along with that, we want to develop that rush way that Pablo touched on, and we want it to be all encompassing for the field players and for the goalkeepers. And in the end goal is to improve the quality of the goalkeepers across the world, develop the ideal rush goalkeeper, if you will. And that's where we want to make sure we're on the same page, coaches, players, as we move forward. And that's, for me, the jump off point for today. If we don't know where we're going to try to get to, how can we work back and build the layers needed? So that's why if I start with the expectations of the position, then we can talk about what we need, the challenges at specific clubs, the methodology, all that goes into it with that end goal in mind. And that end goal being the role of the goalkeeper, the rush goalkeeper, how we see that player developing. So I split it up into three, I think, straightforward ideas. You got priorities when the team has the ball, responsibilities when the team doesn't have the ball, and then the mindset needed to be successful. I think if we can dial in those three areas, it'll paint a very clear picture for our staff, and then a clear picture for our players. Okay. So this is going to be the nuts and the bolts of what we're doing today. I'm going to split. I think we've got enough for maybe 2 groups. I think 2 groups might be the way to do it. We're going to go into 2 groups, and it's an opportunity to talk about those 3 areas. So essentially, when the goalkeeper's in possession, out of possession, and then the mindset needed to be successful. Each group's going to need a speaker or a secretary. I'm going to give you guys this Google form. That way you have access to those topics, and then it will feed right back to us so we can kind of document what everybody spoke about. And then when we come back in a group, the goal is to be able to put this together, each of these 3 areas, and have a very clear, defined expectation for the goalkeeper. That can be our jump off point for all of us as we move forward. Does that seem reasonable?
Yep.
Let me. So this form is really straightforward. I'm just going to throw it up here so you can see it first, and then I'm going to throw it in the chat as well, so you all have it. And it's just listing off that information, who you are, and then you can go ahead and fill in the goalkeeper priorities with the ball, without the ball, and the mentality. The one thing, whoever is going to be the speaker, make sure you don't send it until the conclusion. So you have it, you can access it, and go from there. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to throw this in the chat real quick. All right, I'm going to split you into groups, and I'm just going to send that link into the group breakout room. That might be the easier way to do it. So I'll pop in there and drop that out. And then I will jump into each room if we need help. I think this might take 8 to 10 minutes, but if it's done sooner, that's totally fine. We'll just kind of go from there. Any questions before I send you out? Cool. Luis, you there? trying to get you out on time. I saw you have training.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to train in a 20-degree weather and rainfall.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat later. I'm going to adjust the times in the future. It didn't dawn on me, all the East Coast, so we'll fix that as we move forward.
Yeah, I'm here. I got training from 5 to 8 tonight, so
yeah, fun.
And nice warm 22-degree weather with some rain.
Maybe a little snow mixed in towards the end, right?
Probably, yeah.
We don't like cold weather down in Georgia. We canceled practice today. It's 30 degrees.
If we did that in Virginia, we'd never have practice in the winter.
Anything below 32, I mean, we call it quits.
Before we move on here, and I had the chance to jump back and forth and listen to some of the conversations, things like that, I couldn't be more excited about the chance to work with all you guys and kind of grow this Rush goalkeeping network. And obviously some guys I know better than others. I've known Lux for a long time now. But being able to grow that network of people and kind of the overall scope of all the things that we can do and accomplish and talk about would be pretty exciting. So let's move forward and see if we can't define some of this. Who's this? Pablo, is that you?
What happened?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought I heard you talking to my ear. My bad.
Oh.
Who's the speakers for each group?
We have Mr. Riggs on ours.
I guess I was a speaker for group 1.
Nice. So I think the easiest way is maybe we just go back and forth between if you got an idea, Michael, and then Pablo, if you've got something different, and then we can kind of go back and round out some of these, and we'll go from there. Does that seem fair?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Why don't you kick it off with the priorities when the team has the ball?
All right, so we talked about priorities when the team has the ball. First, keep the team organized, right? Since once we win the ball and we're going to the attacking third, keep the defense organized, keep the players organized. That way, if we do lose the ball, we organize and we're not getting caught with nobody back there. Stay compact, stay as a team as we're moving forward. Stay connected and move the ball forward to the attack. And if players find themselves out of position, try to somewhat direct them and kind of get them back in position. Again, that way, if we do lose the ball, we're not getting caught without having anybody back in defense. Stay calm and just, stay positive.
Nice. Pablo?
Nothing in my end. Riggs is the representative, so I'm delegating.
No, sorry. Riggs, go for it.
So, well, we pretty much said the exact same thing I thought we would. I think the one thing that we focused on was just making sure that the goalkeeper stays involved in the play, not just sitting back at their 6-yard box. Kind of having a presence outside the box, being patient, and just making sure that we have eyes on our players and making sure that the counter attack comes, that we're able to organize.
Nice. Michael, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, we're good. We're good for that.
I only had 2 other ones when I was going through this list, and specific to playing out of the back. So technically being able to play short, mid-range, long balls. And then the other one specifically with the feet, supporting play, switching a point of attack. Those are the 2 that I focused on as well. But it's good. What about Riggs? Why don't you take the first time this one? Responsibility when the team doesn't have them.
We talked. Let's see. Okay, we talked about just having patience. Again, just organizing your defense, having a presence, making sure that you're kind of leading from the back. Very similar to when you're not having it. Just not hanging back and immediately retreating back to your goal, taking a moment to kind of take everything in, as they're coming on that counterattack, getting your defense in order, again, having a presence.
Michael, what about you?
So we added, I mean, the same thing that Riggs just said, but we also added specific commands from the keeper, right? So I know here in Virginia, I teach my keepers a lot specific commands, because if you kind of like, hey, cover the guy on the right, like everybody's like, oh, he's not talking to me, he's talking to somebody else. So specific commands, you know, Sean, you got the guy on your right, Riggs, you got the guy on your left. Be very specific in where you want your players to be. So specific commands. Obviously, stay calm, but also raise your voice or you know, change the tone of your voice. It depends on what's going on the field, so that everybody understands that whether it's urgent or, you know, we're just kind of defending right now, or, you know, are we trying to stop a counterattack. Positional awareness, again, knowing where you're at on the field, especially as a keeper, and especially if you play really high, right? If you play between the 18 and the halfway line, as you're getting back, you know, positional awareness, make sure you're in the right spot to be ready for the shot or whatever the case might be. And you know, body positioning, and that's it.
I'm going to add the one big one. Whenever I talk about what you got to do when you're a goalkeeper, we'll all shake our head. Make saves, right?
Oh yeah, save the ball
Number
from going in
one.
the net.
Yeah, for sure. Number one thing, make sure you save the ball. So we can't forget about those. And then when I start to think about specifics to, you know, dealing with crosses, can you own the box? Can you talked about playing high, command the space behind the back line. But the organizational piece, and Michael, I like what you said about being specific with how you sequence and how you talk to it. Because that's something that's so easy for us to yell at goalkeepers, right? Hey, you got to talk, you got to talk, you got to talk. And then you got a 12-year-old who's going, I got no idea what to say. So by laying it out, hey, you got to talk by doing this, that certainly equips them to be successful. So, all right, last one. Michael, you want to start this one? Mindset to be successful?
Yeah, so we said obviously you got to be self-confidence, because it's a big one. You got to have, I mean, courage, right, to be a goalkeeper, because it's not the easiest position on the field. Determination, persevere, positive self-talk. Obviously, you got to be concentrated, paying attention to what's going on the field, regulate your emotions, especially if you get score on. How can you bounce back? How can you get, you know, how can we, you know, like I tell them, shake it off and let's move on. Don't look back to what we did wrong. We'll figure that out later. Again, body positioning. Are you set? Are you goalkeeper ready? Are your hands ready? All that stuff. Positive encouragement. Did I miss something? I think we cover everything, right? Self-talk. You know, you gotta keep talking to yourself. It gets lonely back there sometimes.
Riggs, what do you got to add?
Brian Lex was saying that, you know, having a short but a long-term memory, you got to be able to manage the short term as well as having a memory of, or, you know, growth as a goalkeeper over time. What are the mistakes you've made, things that you need to change for long-term success, while being able to get scored on and still be able to make that next play. And a drive and a motivation to work on the little things, being able to take pride in your training and being able to go at it, you know, not just, I want to make saves, but hey, I want to catch balls. I want to demand, you know, perfection with myself during training. Things that goalkeeper coaches love to see from their players.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, especially, right, that difference between just making a save, but making the save correctly, clean, catching. It's a really well said point. I really appreciate this info, and hopefully when you guys send it in, it's something that we can put together on a one sheet and have as a reference for all of us moving forward, for players moving forward. You know, being able to define that job for the kids certainly is one major step. So I'm so excited with what you guys have put forward and done in this, you know, impromptu meeting that's kind of come out of nowhere, but I really appreciate the effort and the time that you guys took on it. Something to think about before you take off. If you need anything, please reach out. Thoughts, ideas, as we move forward and continue to grow this. If you have an idea for something that you want, even if it's something, a format, we like Zooms, no, we want webcasts, calls, podcasts. If you have thoughts or ideas about that, please throw it in the chat. Please, email me, and we'll kind of continue to grow and develop this thing as it comes. But just kind of the first step, right? And we got an idea now of what we're trying to build to. So I'm super excited for it. Any parting shots from any of you guys?
So Sean, do you see this happening once a month, once a quarter, or just impromptu? What are your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have a defined plan yet. We'll definitely make a plan. And there's going to be a balance between something like this, where it's, developing the network and being able to get all of us together, and trying to provide some coaches ed information. Pablo's done a great job of putting together a schedule. So for example, in the future, he's got a whole month dedicated to planning sessions. So I want to maybe lead a discussion on how we can go about making a goalkeeper session, bringing in guest speakers, things like that. So there's kind of two things at play that we need to plan out and get on the same page, but that's definitely something that needs to get sorted real soon.
Okay. Yeah, because I can always use all the input. I'm actually brand new to Rush, and so some of the coaches have been kind of doing goalkeeper coaching, but none of them are goalkeepers. So I have to kind of build a framework around just the academy and then all the kids. So this has been very helpful. So thank you. It has really reinforced some of the things I wanted to put in place, just listening to everybody talk about it. So
Perfect. Our target as far as a Rush goalkeeping methodology is July. So at least a framework, a first step. Obviously, it's not going to be finalized. It's going to be something that's always evolving and getting added to, but that's at least the initial target.
I will, whatever I produce, I'll contribute.
I'm sorry?
I said, whatever I produce, I will contribute.
That sounds great. I really appreciate that.
Can I ask something, if you guys don't mind? What would be the best way to, not distribute it? Distribute is not the right word. What's the best way to communicate it for you? What's the most practical way? We were thinking, for example, for the overall methodology for field players as well, I was thinking of doing it through coaching manual, basically creating specific sections that are per age group. Yeah, so methodology by age group, and I can create it through the tool because I'm guessing that the app is pretty comfortable, but are there other ways that you find more comfortable or that you use more frequently?
Which tool is this, Pablo?
So we use the Rush coaching manual. We have our version of coaching manual, fully customized, and it's free for all of our coaches. So
wait a second, maybe I missed that one in my email. Can you send me the link to that?
yeah, actually, if you don't mind sending me an email, I'll forward you all the information to get your user and the
I have your email, Pablo.
I'm sorry, what?
Do I have your email?
You should.
Want to put it in the chat?
Down here.
Put in the chat.
There. For the rest, I mean, what's the most comfortable?
I'm a big fan of automation. I mean, I like Google and Google Docs and all that stuff. But if we have a tool, I say use it if we have access to it. It becomes an organizational asset at that point. So
YouTube channel, that would be good too. It's a good option.
I agree with the YouTube channel.
The only thing about the YouTube channel is, and you guys tell me what you think about this. Instead of posting the videos there, we can post them on the sessions of the coaching manual. if you use, but do you guys use the tool?
I'll use it if you give me access. If it's free, yeah. I mean, I can always use a tool like that. Save me an expense.
No, for sure. But I mean the ones that have it already. Do your clubs use it locally?
We have it, but for the teams that I coach with, we use XPS more, just as kind of a big database. Just because the guy that I assist for prefers it, but I think Coaching Manual is pretty good. I think it's pretty easy to use.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Riggs, do you guys use it in Missouri? You're muted. Sorry.
I don't think we do.
Oh, coaching money.
I only suggest the YouTube channel because I mean it's just super quick and easy. And if we're looking for something like that day, like, oh, we got training, I'm caught up on the computer, I've been doing social media, and all of a sudden now I got to plan this session. Let's see what, let's see what's on the channel. If there's something cool and fun that I can incorporate in today's training.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we gotta do a better job at pushing the coaching manual, because that's the main purpose of it. You have it on your it's an app. So basically you just go on your phone and you have filters, and you just filter. You say, okay, I need a goalkeeping session for a U11, and it's going to bring you all the results automatically.
What's the app? This is actually, I'm a little embarrassed to say it. This is the first time I'm hearing about this app. What's it?
And don't worry. I'm going to blame it on Damien.
And maybe Pablo, it's going to be good. Maybe we can circle back on this, because the first session, so 1v1 breakaway slide session, that's going to be in the coaching manual. Yeah. It's going to be linked to a YouTube video, and maybe it's we can dummy run it, so to speak. We can get feedback if that's a usable format or not. That's
true. That's a good idea.
And that's only a matter of time before that comes out. I mean, that's all in the Fedi.
The way we're trying to not to schedule, the way we're trying to organize all the coaching content is, we had two main tools there: the website and the Rush coaching manual. The website, we use it for everything that is education that is not necessarily on the field. So, for example, if you're learning about managing the performance environment, you're going to find it on the website. Now, the tool is for all the very specific on the field content: sessions, activities, training cycles, all of that stuff. We put it through the tool. Because of this, because we know that, a lot of times, and it happens to me as well, it's like, maybe, I had a busy day, I'm driving to the club, and I park there, and I have 45 minutes, I have 40 minutes, 30 minutes to plan my session, make sure that I do a session that I like, and I can do it with the tool. I have my session planner, I can design it, I can match activities, I can print it as a PDF, I can share it. So that's why we're trying to encourage that channel. But like Sean says, we'll probably be able to circle back on this one after we post the first one. You guys get access if you haven't seen it yet, and give us some feedback, of course, if it was comfortable or not.
What do you guys feel about seeing a live session from Michael? I think he's getting lined up to provide that for us.
I am. Actually, I'm getting ready to go put my rain gear on because it's starting to rain now. So, hey, I got a tripod. I'm more than happy to put it up.
Does anybody record any of their sessions? Goalkeeping sessions?
We do. We record our sessions for recruitment mostly.
Okay.
So we use the video camera to record.
Perfect. Pablo, do you have any you want to add? Any other takeaways?
No, I have questions actually. No, first of all, thank you everybody for taking the time. Sean, you as well, of course, for all the work that you're doing here. This guy's working hard. And he has a huge challenge. We have a huge challenge. And that is trying to have uniform coaching standards, right? We don't have to be clones, but we do want to make sure that every Rush club presents a framework that we're all proud of, right? It's a way of protecting our brand as well. But I always say we do it humbly. It's not like Sean thinks that he's the ultimate authority in the world about everything that is related to goalkeeping. Neither do I when it comes to on the field players, and nobody in my team thinks like that. So this involvement is super valuable because we want to build it together. It has to be for us, so we want to build it together. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Pablo. Good info. Like I said, if anybody needs anything, ideas, don't hesitate to reach out. And as we work on putting together a schedule, of how we can work together on it, that info will come out really quick.
Sean and Pablo, can